Hi, and welcome back. What are unit tests? Unit tests are really important for TDD. So important that the T stands for tests, in particular unit tests. So, what's a unit test? A unit test is code that verifies the behavior of a unit of work in a system. What does that mean? The unit of work means that it's just a small scope of the system, just a very small part of the entire software system or program is what we're testing with a single unit test. And oftentimes it's mistaken as meaning that one unit test tests just a single class. That's not the case. Oftentimes we test with a unit test a small set of collaborating classes. Furthermore, unit tests really should not be involved in any I/O. So unit tests don't test across the process boundary. So we're just testing code that's inside our program, right? So we're not writing to files, for example, which is something that's outside of our program. We are not calling off to other programs. For example, we're not calling off to a database, whether on our computer or remotely. We're not calling off to any web services. We're not doing any connecting like that. Why is that? Because if we did that, if we did connect to these other systems or write to files even on our own computer, it would mean that our unit tests are that much more fragile. What if the file isn't there, or it's currently being accessed by another program and there's a file lock? Our unit test would fail. What if the database isn't in the right schema, or the web service doesn't have a particular endpoint and corresponds with the wrong HTTP status? There's all these kind of failures that we don't want to be involved with, that we don't want to have when it comes to unit tests. Unit tests are meant to be very deterministic. They pretty much run the same every time we run them, as long as the code behaves in the same way. And lastly, unit tests are meant to be run automatically. We would run them in a unit testing framework, sometimes also called a test harness. And for .NET, we have got unit testing frameworks like XUnit, NUnit, which is a little bit older, MS Test, and others. We need a tool like that to be able to run our unit tests and be able to run them automatically as well. So we can run, if we've got lots and lots of unit tests, we can run them all in one go, or we can sort of divide them up into kind of collections of unit tests that we can run in our unit testing framework. Let's move on.